Well, hey, everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of Surviving Life's Pickles. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy life to hang out with us today for this hour. We are super excited to have you. And if you haven't tuned into our shows before, we start off every one of our episodes with what we're grateful for today. And then we kind of get into what the show's about and kind of talk about our guests and get into their story. Today, we are excited to have Todd Sylvester joined us today. So thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited for this opportunity, and we were just talking about what a cool vibe this place has. So thanks for that as well, and look forward to sharing some stuff with you guys too.
Yeah, we
We're
appreciate it.
excited to hear your story.
Well, I'm going to go first.
Okay,
We'll just kind of go around. I'll go first.
good.
We'll let Todd go and you'll finish us out today. How about that?
I like that.
Okay. Well, today I'm so grateful for places.
Hmm.
Over the weekend, I was able to take Hillary to one of the places that has been instrumental in part of my recovery, kind of more of a spiritual place, kind of a
Yeah.
place that I've regrounded.
Hmm.
Um, Never had the opportunity to actually camp there. Always just mountain biked or hiked in and hang out. And we had the opportunity, just me and her and the dogs went camping there, right underneath what I call it's a balance rock. It's out in Vernal, just off a mountain biking trail, and we were able to take the ATV trail in with the truck and just
Nice.
camp right underneath of it.
Yeah.
Have the stars and just it was just relaxing.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to have those places available where I know I can go
Yeah.
and just immediately be relaxed and immediately just feel calm and recollected and kind of re-energized
Grounded.
and grounded again. So yeah, that's what I'm thankful for today. I'm very, very grateful for.
Yeah.
Todd, how
Well,
about you?
well said. Yeah. Started thinking a bunch of places, but what I had in my mind when you asked me to be ready for this is I'm grateful I woke up comfortable in my own skin.
Wow.
I used to not be in that position. I used to wake up just not loving who I was, struggling with just thinking I wasn't good enough. And I really, in my years in doing this now, and I even get emotional thinking about it, is I just think success is waking up comfortable in your own skin. And I'm just grateful that I'm in this place, and I'm grateful for the people who helped me get here. Because without that, I would. How many second chances have we all had? So I'm grateful that for that.
It's beautifully
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Okay.
Today, I'm grateful for small reminders. Um, we had the opportunity to take a little trip, reground ourselves, and remind ourselves why we do the things that we do.
Mm.
And while we were on our trip, I had my little craziness kick in, and with the help of you, my husband, we went and got my little tattoo, which says grateful.
Nice.
And I wanted this tattoo for a minute, and I was really excited about it because it's also another small reminder for me. And I'm the tattoo artist that did it, he did such a beautiful job. It's just simple, but
Yeah.
every day I can look down and see it says grateful, and it
Yeah.
will constantly remind me
Mm.
of the gratitude that I have for my life and where I am today and who is with me in this life. So, yeah.
Love
Beautiful.
that.
Yeah.
And that's why we start off all our episodes with gratitude. Is it really just brings
Yeah.
us into that place together, brings everybody listening into that place. And we love that. So thank you, everybody, for spending this time in gratitude with us as we start this episode.
Hopefully, with us sharing our gratitudes, you can also reflect on your own as we go along. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
So, well, everybody, like we said, we have Todd Sylvester here today. He has been in the recovery space, helping space for 25 plus years now. Is that right?
more like 36.
Wow. Okay.
That'll really, make you realize how old I'm getting, but yeah.
You don't look it.
Well,
No.
thank you. It's the clean living finally, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what'll do it. Makes you live longer and stronger,
Yeah,
right?
right, yeah.
So, but you've been, you're a best-selling author. You work at a treatment center. I don't know if you still do, but you
Yeah,
have. You
yeah.
still do work at a treatment
Mhm.
center. You're a public speaker, keynote. You started a nonprofit called Sly Dogs.
Wow, yeah, back in the day,
Back
that's
in the day, it was kind of your first,
where it all
right?
started, yeah.
And so we're
That's
excited
cool.
just to hear
Yeah,
some of your story. What inspired you? What got you to
yeah,
the point of helping people? What struggles kind of got you there, and what you're doing now? So we'll just
yeah.
kind of let you take some time and let's dive into
Okay,
this.
wow. Yeah, that brings back so many great memories when you bring up, so Sly Dog was my nickname in high school.
Okay.
Okay.
That's where that came from, and, you know, I'll get to that in a minute because that's a big part of how I got here. But like anyone's journey who goes through addiction, it destroys your soul.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, with my gratitude, grateful that I'm comfortable in my own skin because I was really I what drinking and drugs weren't the problem. The problem was I was poisoning myself with the false belief that I wasn't good enough. And I just bought into that, and I believed it from the time I was a little kid even, and so, anyway, uh, went through, 10 years of drug addiction and alcoholism, and, we don't have to get in on those details, we can if you want, but got to the point where I was going to end my life because I was just done. I had lost a basketball scholarship that I had earned, which was like my childhood dream, and here I have this scholarship in my hands, and I lost it because I was getting high. And when that happened, like many of us that go through addiction, is the shame was on a level that I couldn't handle anymore. And shame, as we all know, is just I'm a bad person. Period.
Yeah.
And and I don't want to feel that anymore. So I decided I was going to end my life. And thankfully, God sent this guy into my life who's my mentor to this very day. I think, going on 40 plus years, this guy took me under his wing. And I often will say that I'm here because I'm standing on shoulders of giants.
Mm.
And this mentor of mine who took me under his wing was the miracle that saved my life. And he kind of just showed me the ropes. And I'll never forget, he said, "What do you wanna do now that you're starting to turn your life around?" And I said, "I wanna help people. I wanna speak. I wanna," you know, there wasn't podcasting back then. I didn't have that in my mind, but I wanna get out there and share my story. And I'll never forget what he told me. He said, "That's great if that's what you wanna do." But then he asked me, he goes, "You know what the hardest thing to will be when you if that's what you wanna do?" I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Practice what you preach."
Yeah.
And I got it logically, and then I found myself speaking on stage or talking one-on-one with someone, and I'm telling him to do something that I wasn't doing. I'm like, "Man, he's right." And so I made a decision that I'm not gonna tell anyone to do anything unless I've done it or I'm doing it. And so I've tried to pride myself on that if I'm helping someone, I can look them in the eye and say, "I've done this myself," you know?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'll never forget writing down ideas in a notepad of what could I do to help people, and I wanted to help kids before they got to the place I was. So I wanted to hit young kids with believing in themselves, stay away from drugs, and help other people, kind of thing, right? And and I'm writing down ideas, and I draw this stick figure dog, and I was like, and it was like a flood of inspiration just hit me. I was like, that's it. I'm gonna this dog's gonna be called Sly Dog, and his motto is gonna be drug free, that's me. And I started writing down all these ideas of I could create a program and go to all the elementary schools and you guys have dogs. I walked in and
Oh,
was
yeah.
greeted by these two beautiful dogs. Well, you know how like when you've been away for a while and you come home and the dogs see you and the dogs will run around and just I was like that when I wrote down these things. It was like, this is it. This is my purpose. and I literally throw my pencil down and I run outside and I go around the block as fast as I can twice.
Doing
I'm
zoomies.
not kidding. I was just like, and it was like, it was like God or the universe was saying, "This is what you're going to do." And it was like I knew it.
Mhm.
I like and I had no business sense. I knew nothing other than I knew this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I had a graphic designer create this animated cartoon character called Sly Dog that had a dog's head and a human body. And I had a mascot made, and then I created this. I had all these ideas for a week-long program in elementary schools. So, and at the time, I'm going head to head with the DARE program, and
Yeah.
DARE was everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the thing about DARE is, they'd go do an assembly at a school and then they're gone.
Yeah.
They're there for an hour with the kids and gone. I thought, I want to blow that out of the water. And so my program was I was in the same school for 5 days in a row. I would do an assembly every day. And then I spent the whole day at the school.
Oh,
I would help them with their homework. I would sit with them with class. I'd eat lunch with them. I'd play with them at recess. And by Wednesday, I was a complete rock star. I mean, I signed more Sly Dog autographs than I can even count.
yeah.
And and the program took off. At the time, the governor of the state of Utah wrote me a letter on the government letterhead saying this is the most appropriate and effective anti-drug program in the state of Utah.
Yeah.
I still have it. I've got it in a frame. I'm like,
Believe it.
and I ended up speaking to over 350,000 kids over the next 5 years. And I'll tell you guys, that's what kept me on the path of recovery. It kept me on the path of going back and blowing up my life. I had purpose.
Yeah.
You know, there's a beautiful quote by Pablo Picasso that says, "The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose in life is to give it away." And I found it. And so, yeah, I did that for the next 5 years. And I'm in elementary schools and just having the time of my life. And it was still a struggle. I'm not going to say everything was roses and, white picket fences, but in those tough moments, I kept picturing the faces of those kids. What would I tell them if I go blow up my life this weekend?
Mm.
What would I say to them? And it just, yeah, it was a life-changing thing for me at the time. And as much as I was helping kids, it was saving me, helping me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, I want to rewind it just a minute because I want to ask the question if this was
yeah.
part of the inspiration to help the kids. In your audiobook that we listened to, you talk about almost the aha moment with the lemonade stand.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd like to go back and kind of talk
Sure.
about that moment,
Yeah.
but then I'd like you to tell us if that had an influence on maybe why Slide Dog was kind of directed towards kids, maybe.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, and I think you've hit it on the head. You know, I anyone who's ever been through, addiction and when they get clean and sober for a time, and it is that space in between, am I done or am I gonna make it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lonely path,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a sometimes a dark path. I hate to say, but sometimes that where you're sitting there going, "Can I do this?" And your mind and body and nervous system is saying, "Go back to what you're comfortable with."
Yeah.
So I'm fighting this back and forth, at least in my head, and I'll never forget. I'm leaving my neighborhood one day, and at the time, I'm a bartender, which is not a good idea
When you're trying to,
when you're trying to quit drinking.
Yeah.
But I had this bartending job, and I was really good at it, and I was making good money at the time, and as a bartender, I would get tips from the waiters and waitresses because I'd help them
Mm-hmm.
with their customers,
Yeah.
and then anyone that sit at the bar, I would get tips from them as well. And back then, you'd get ones and fives, sometimes tens, and then a lot of change, quarters, nickels, and dimes. And I used to keep all this change in the cup holders in my car, right?
Mhm.
And I use that change I would buy pot with it. I would buy, whatever. I'd fill my car up with gas. I'd buy food with it. Anyway, that was just kind of the thing. And um, I'm about 8 months into, you know, trying to change my life, walking away from alcohol and drugs, like truly walking away, but I'm struggling. I'm going back and forth. And I'll never forget, I'm leaving my neighborhood on a beautiful sunny day, and I'm just leaving the neighborhood, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this little girl selling lemonade. I don't think anything of it. I drive right past, and then I had this impression come over me, turn around and give her all the money in your car. And I had about, 30 to $40 worth of change in my car. And I'm thinking, you know, 36 years ago, that was a lot of money.
That's 2 tanks of gas.
That's an expensive lemonade.
Yeah, right. And I thought, wow, that'd be cool. I'm going to give this. Yeah. What and I listened to that voice in my head, aha moment, and I flipped my car around. And little did I know by turning around what this was going to do for my life. But just didn't think much of it. Turn my car around, pull up, roll down my window. I asked this little girl selling lemonade how much. I think she said 25 cents. And I said, yeah, I'll take one. So she pours me a cup, and I set this cup on my dashboard. And then I tell this little girl, cup your hands like this. And I start scooping all this change in her hands. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm like, hold on, I got more.
Yeah.
And she's throwing it on the table, cupping her hands again. I'm putting more in her hands. It's like 10 scoops.
Yeah.
And I'm getting every little bit. And she's freaking out. She's starting to get emotional.
Oh.
I started to get emotional. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? And I go, hey, I've got more. And she is so grateful. Talk about gratitude. She's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh my God. And the last scoop she throws on her table, and she takes off into her house. And I'm thinking she's going to tell her parents some dude just gave her $1 million, right? And as I pull away, I start to cry like I've never cried before in my entire life. Have you ever cried so hard you feel like you're cleansing your soul?
Yeah.
It was one of those soul cleansing cries. I pull my car over, I throw it in park, I put my face in my hands, and I sob like I've never sobbed before in my life. And it was as if, all this pain was leaving my body. Like, in that moment, I loved who I was. In that moment, I wanted to be clean. In that moment, I felt like I mattered, and it lit my soul on fire.
Yeah.
And, I have this quote on my office wall that I have my clients read that says, "The most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire," by Ferdinand Foch. And I'm telling you, my soul is on fire. And there was no drug or drink on the planet that could give me the feeling I felt in that moment.
Yep.
I was like, that's more powerful than, and it was genuine, right? It was authentic. It was real.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going, I want to feel this again.
Yeah.
And the next Saturday, I, on purpose, drive by to see if that girl's got a lemonade stand out again, and I'm going to give her all my money, ironically, that I'm earning as a bartender. And sure enough, she was out there the next week, and I pull up, and this little girl recognizes me, and she starts freaking out, like jackpot, like who's the money guy, right? And I give her all my money again. I do this the next Saturday.
Wow.
I give her all my money. I do this every Saturday for 2.5 months. And every time I pull away, I start crying, tears of joy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I feel like I matter. And I was like, I want more of that. And that's, to your point, that beautiful question, Scott, that I was like, how can I help kids like her have that same reaction? And yes, I think that was the foundation or the catalyst that kind of led me to having the inspiration to doing this Sly Dog program to make kids feel like they matter.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and little did I know that giving away my money at a lemonade stand, what I got in return is I got my life. And I didn't connect those dots till years later. Years later. But man, I can look back now and go, holy cow, I got my life back by giving away. So we give to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a beautiful statement that one of my clients shared with me, and I put it to my memory. And he said it like this: I tried to find myself I could not see. I tried to find my God eluded me. I tried to find my brother, I found all three. And I thought, wow, that's where it's at. I often tell my clients, if you master the first 11 steps of AA, you will drink again. You master step 12, you'll never touch another drop. And what's step 12? It's to give back and make a difference in someone's life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there's no drug on the planet that can give you that feeling,
No.
right?
No, it's that
So,
feeling you get in gratitude or the
yes.
same feeling you get in that service. I mean, we
Yeah.
actually this last week we interviewed our moms for Mother's Day. We'd never done
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
And we talked about it. And ironically, both of our moms grew up very different, but both of our moms had the same answer of service and being that positive influence on somebody's life.
Yeah.
And I don't think it really hit me of some of the examples and different things I'd watched over my life, but it is that statement is completely true.
Yeah.
Is living as that example
Yeah.
for other people is one way that you can serve, but then it also serves you
Yeah.
at a higher purpose that you just sometimes just don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always called it the spiritual high.
Yeah.
If you can find that spiritual high,
Yeah.
it'll fill every other hole that you're chasing to fill.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I have to ask, you did this for 2.5 months, trying to relive that feeling, continue
Yeah.
to feel that.
Yeah.
Fast forward 30 plus years now. What do you still do to seek that feeling?
This.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here talking to you two, and how you start this off with gratitude, I'm going, wow, this just sets such a tone.
Does.
I mean, this, sharing my story, trying to make a difference. I still will stop at a lemonade stand and whatever's in my wallet, they get it. Like, it's, yeah, it's just, that's why I do individual coaching. That's why I do speaking events. That's why I do my podcast,
Yeah.
because this connection, I feel like we just met and I feel like I've known you forever now. Like, how does that happen? And it's that authentic feeling that you guys created by asking the question, what are you grateful for? I mean, that changed me today. It did. I wasn't expecting that question. I never get that question on and I've been on a million podcasts, especially in the beginning. I never get that. I'm getting emotional now just thinking about it. So it's these kind of moments that I look for and yearn for. That's why I'm grateful that you guys even offered me the opportunity to be here
And we're
on your show. You know what I mean? Like, this matters.
does.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Stories change lives. I'm a huge fan of James Allen, who wrote the book As a Man Thinketh. And he has a statement in another book he wrote that said, um, a spoken sentence can turn the tide of history. And that's why stories matter. That's why your podcast matters, because we share stories.
Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, that's something we teach. So we do with our nonprofit, we go into businesses and teach mental health first aid and suicide prevention and
Yeah.
different management courses on how to deal with these things. And every single time, doesn't matter what one we're teaching or if we're just speaking, that's the message we always get out is don't suffer in silence, share your story
Yeah.
because
Yep.
one, it's going to help you more than you know by sharing your story.
Yeah.
That's what's got us to this point. But also, you don't know how much it's going to help somebody else that's listening at that point
Exactly.
in time.
Exactly.
So,
I say vulnerability is contagious.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I like that.
yeah. Mhm.
so you mentioned a lot of things. As we just been talking, your podcast, the Slide Dog nonprofit, you're a life coach, working in a mental health treatment center. Let's talk about these things. Let's talk about all these things you're involved in and where people are able to start finding some resources that you found or that you use out
Yeah.
there today.
Yeah. So I currently work at Wasatch Recovery. I've been there, a counselor there for 13 years.
Okay.
I've done my own coaching practice. I've been doing that for 30 plus years. The Sly Dog program morphed into that.
That was
Okay.
my question.
Yeah.
How did it change into
Yeah.
the recovery world and into
Yeah.
a treatment center from children?
Yeah. So again, I was doing the Sly Dog program. I did that for 5+ years. And then I got married and I was like, oh, I really have to start making some money now, I guess.
Life changes.
And what was interesting, I was making just enough money doing the Sly Dog program, if you will, just to be able to do buy the supplies to be able to do it the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was worry about me. I was single at the time. I was living with my mom at the time as well. So I didn't have much overhead. But then I met the love of my life. I've been married to her now for 33 years, and we've got 4 kids and 4 grandkids and one on the way. And um, but when that happened, I had to, my priorities had to change a little bit. I got to support the family,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so, um, kind of had to step away from doing the week long program in Sly Dog, and I started. So parents would come up to me from the program, "Hey, my son or daughter loves what you're teaching in this, your program here at the school. Would you meet with them one on one?"
Mm.
I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I had never done that before, and that wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, I'd absolutely love to meet with them one on one." They would be like, they're struggling with believing in themselves. They got anxiety, they got depression, all kinds of things. And I started realizing when I was meeting with these kids, I was like, I have a knack for this and I love this. And I'm like, this is what I'm going to start doing. So here I am. So Sly Dog kind of morphed into nothing for a minute, but knowing this is the direction I want to go. I want to coach. I want to speak. I want to write a book. I had all these big aspirations in my mind, but I'm also trying to get this family supported and doing all that. So I'm kind of doing both worlds, if you will. And so it just slowly started gaining some traction and word of mouth, and this is before social media. so
Yeah.
so you did it the old fashioned way. If you got on the news, it was like
You made it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had a few opportunities to have the news come do some spotlights on me, and the paper did a bunch of write-ups on me, and I just started gaining this momentum. Momentum creates more momentum, energy creates more energy, and it just started slowly. And pretty soon, this started outweigh, my current jobs, and I got to a place where I could do it full time. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I'm finally here." And it took forever, it felt like. And um, so yeah, so now I do coaching. I've written 3 books now, and I've got my own podcast, and I just love sitting down and helping people.
Yeah.
And I realize everyone has a story. Everyone's struggling with something. It doesn't always have to be an addictive substance. It's anxiety, depression, not believing in themselves, self-esteem issues, and all kinds of stuff out there. And so I've I'm kind of like the jack of all trades at this point because I've been doing it for so long. And but I'm very grateful to be in the position I'm at. Again, like I said, I'm standing on shoulders of giants. They've kind of showed me how to create this business, if you will, because that's really kind of what it is, of trying to save lives and helping people, overcome the things that they're struggling with.
Yeah. One thing that I loved about when we kind of listened to your book and just following you and seeing different things is your persona, and now having you in studio here really exemplifies that. You remind me of another friend of mine,
Hmm.
and that's Curtis Morley.
Oh yeah,
And I
love Kurt.
and I know you know Curtis.
Yes, he's
And
awesome.
it really, your guys' philosophy or the way that you attack, I guess,
Hmm.
mental health
Yeah,
and shame and addiction and all this are very, very similar. You guys have
yeah,
such a vision
yeah,
on what the root cause is, and it
yeah.
doesn't matter. I mean, Curtis just started the pornography recovery
Yes,
program, which
yeah,
has been super successful.
yeah,
But it's not the pornography that he's focused on in that group.
yeah.
It's the shame.
Yep.
It's all
Yeah.
these things that you've been talking about.
Hmm.
And I like to ask, I'm curious on, did a lot of that intentionally show up as you did your own work? Or is that some stuff that has been passed on to you through mentors and
Yeah,
things as you've grown? Because I mean, you two are very similar, and
yeah.
I haven't met anybody else in the recovery world quite like either of you. And so that's why I'm very intrigued on how
Yeah.
some of that has come about for you.
Great question. Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. My own experiences, shame's the killer. You know, shame is what keeps people stuck in the same behaviors. And the word's not even stuck, it's comfortable. I was comfortable in my misery, comfortable blaming other people, comfortable not taking accountability, and comfortable just thinking I was a bad person, even though it was hurting so bad, right? And so through my own experiences and then mentors, you know, I mentioned I've my mentor for 40 plus years. He really taught me the power of taking accountability because you can't hold on to shame if you take accountability.
Mhm.
You can't have both.
Yeah.
You got one or the other. And I was holding on to shame. Like I blamed everyone, and especially some family members in my life. I blamed my father. It's his fault that I'm an alcoholic. And I had all kinds of reasons that I could tell you guys, here's my reasons. You'd be like, okay, I can see why maybe you blame him.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget my mentor. he we're having a conversation and I'm coming in and I'm crying. I've relapsed again and again, and I'm blaming people and everyone. And he literally, you can't do this now. He slaps me in the face. Not hard, but hard enough to get my attention. My first thought was, I'm going to punch him back in the face,
Yeah.
right? And he looks at me right in my eyes and says, when are you going to finally take accountability for your life and quit blaming other people? And he said it in such a way, but he had my attention. And I sat there and I just started crying. And I said, you're right. I am blaming everyone but me. This is a me problem. It's not my dad's fault. It's not my mom's. It's not my upbringing. Yes, there's challenges there. We're not denying that. But boy, he woke me up. And it was because of that, in that moment, I started taking accountability. And what I realized and learned, when we take accountability, suffering stops. When you play the victim, suffering magnifies and continues. And he taught me that. And it was such a freeing thing. It didn't happen instantly, but boy, he again, he took me under his wing and he said, "Hey, who are you blaming here?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. This is a Todd problem." And I'll tell you, it saved my life. It saved my and so that my own experiences and then having other mentors and just learning and even meeting with clients, I can instantly say their issue isn't the drugs or the alcohol. It's I always say this, you don't have a drinking or a drug problem, you have a thinking problem. Thinking that you're not enough, thinking that you're broken, thinking that you got a disease and you'll never get out of it, thinking that no one loves you, thinking that you are just a piece of shit, to be quite honest with you. That is what's the problem.
Yeah.
So what if we change that? I don't need to tell you to stay from drugs and alcohol. You already know that.
Yeah.
You already know to stay away from that stuff.
You just don't want to.
You don't want to. You're using that to numb out this, or at least attempting to, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you can help that person because someone showed me the way, drugs and drinking weren't my problem. It was thinking that I wasn't enough and believing that I didn't matter.
Yeah.
I had to change that. And I'm telling you, shame is what kept me in that rut, if you
Yeah.
will. So anyway, that's a long answer to
No,
your
that's
question.
beautifully put. I mean, that's something we talk about all the time is taking that pain and turning it into purpose. And that's what you've done. And it's now, like you were saying, all these situations at the time you were saying, well, I'm this because of these situations.
Right.
Now you can look back at those situations and say, no, those situations created who I am now because it taught me these lessons.
Yeah. There's a beautiful quote you guys will love. It's by a Hindu monk. I don't know how to pronounce the name. The name's about this, Zen monk. But your trials didn't come to punish you, but to awaken you.
Wow.
And because I used to be like, why am I going through this? Why? And it's like, no, it was as if God or the universe was trying to wake me up. I'll say this to my clients all the time. Adversity is the wake up call to your greatness. It's trying to wake you up. Wake up.
Yeah.
Right. And eventually when I understood that concept, I finally woke up. Oh, this is why I went through this. Like I took my first drink of alcohol when I was 11 years old. That's what opened up the door for me. And I was like, man, I'm all or nothing. I'm in.
Yeah.
10 years of hell. But I'm grateful for that drink at 11 because I'm sitting here talking to you two today.
Yeah.
Like that, think about that for a second. That blows my mind. If I would have saw this moment with you two on your podcast at age 11, okay, because you're having this drink, you're going to have an opportunity to be on this amazing podcast, you know, 30 something years later.
Down the road.
I would have been, okay, I'm going to go, but you're going to have to go through 10 years of hell.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
But at the time when you're going through it, you're like, why am I going through this? Right. So anyway, I'm grateful for that because I get to talk to you two. So yeah, all these moments, just they happen for you. I really believe that philosophy. Life happens for us.
Yeah, not to you.
Yeah. And it's hard to see that when you're going through hell.
Oh, yeah.
And so anyone listening to this is going through hell. You're like, yeah, Todd, thanks a lot. That feels really good. I get it. I get it. But I promise you, if you keep working at this and keep asking for help and keep doing the things you need to, when that clicks and you have that aha moment, that moment that changes the course of your life, then you go, oh, that's why I went through this. So I could be awoken to this purpose that I have now in my life.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well,
Right?
that's like you said, sometimes you don't notice it at that moment. It
No.
could be years down the road when you're reflecting back. You're like,
That's hard.
and it is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And I mean, especially the last couple of years since we started this and everything that we've been doing, those struggles come up and you're like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, I know.
You're like, can we continue to do this? And,
Yeah.
and it all comes back to the next day when you're having those thoughts of somebody walking up to you, hey, guess what? I heard this on your show.
Right.
Or, hey, thank you for sharing this, or thank you for coming. And
Makes all of it worth
it makes
it.
all of it worth it. And
Right.
again, it gives you that more momentum of, I just made a difference in this one person's life.
Yeah.
Let's do this again.
Let's do it again.
And
Yeah.
that was our
That's
our
cool.
initial goal. In
Yeah.
the very beginning, we didn't start this to help a million people. Our goal was to help at least just one person.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And one, that's doable. And two, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
one thing that's really resonated with me from your book, I Am Recovered.
Yeah.
So I'm also in recovery since 2014. I've shared my story on this podcast and
Yeah.
we've talked about it multiple times, but I sponsored women, and
Yeah.
one thing I really tried to instill in them
Mhm.
was labels.
Yeah.
And being in the 12-step community,
Yeah.
you can get deterred by labels
For sure.
very often.
Right.
Very often.
Yeah.
We go into a 12-step meeting and we say, my name is Hillary, I'm an addict, alcoholic, whatnot.
Yeah.
And I learned this in one of my own treatment centers, and it completely resonated with me.
Yeah.
Of not actually, changing the narrative and not stating that you are an addict, alcoholic, because the mindset of that, you're going to continue to believe that you're still in that, there's the shame, there's the guilt, there's the, that label that just, it has a bad note to it.
Yeah.
And so I absolutely love that you even named your book, I Am Recovered.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stigma around that.
Oh, for sure.
There is.
Yeah. I took some heat for that.
I bet you did.
I bet. Yeah.
But can we talk about this for a second?
Yes.
I love that you brought that up.
Yes, that's what I...
Again, this is no disrespect to the AA community. I have the absolute love and gratitude for that community. It saved my mom's life. If it wasn't for AA, my mom would be dead. So guys, please don't. But I think it's fair. What if we looked at things just a little differently, just at a different angle?
Yeah.
Because the truth is, you and I used to be addicts.
Mhm.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So why would I stand up and say I'm an addict?
Mhm.
Because no, I'm not. I know I used to be, but today we're clean.
Yep.
And the reason why I love the word recovered,
Mhm.
if you look in the middle of the word, it spells over. And on my book cover, the over is in bold. It pops.
Okay.
Yeah. Because why can't we say it's over?
Yeah.
Like, it's over for me. I'm not in recovery, and I know this goes against the grain. And again, no disrespect. If you like the word recovery, hey, we'll high five each other. I'm in this with you, I promise.
Mm.
But I think, they're now showing, especially like sports science has proven that words have power.
They do.
They have a frequency. They have an energy to them, right? I don't say I'm recovered as this arrogant, cocky, you know, look at me kind of guy. I say it because I'm confident because I put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the work. So when I say I'm over, my brain and central nervous system says, yes, you are. It believes it.
Yeah.
Labels, like you said, are cages.
Yeah.
There's an amazing quote that goes, "A bird born in a cage thinks flying's an illness."
Wow.
So what I try to do with my clients is take them out of that narrative cage that you brought up, Hillary, to see that, right? So again, no disrespect, but words have power.
They do.
That's why if I was in a meeting today, I would stand up and say, "Hi, I'm Todd. I'm grateful to be with you guys. I'm grateful to be clean and to be able to be standing here with you guys and rub shoulders with you guys." And I've done that at a meeting. You know what I get after? People will come up and say, "Oh man, I want to start saying it like that."
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah, because it's powerful."
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My general go-to, and I might change it up a little bit, was I'm a grateful recovered alcoholic and addict.
Yeah.
So
And again, if that works for you or anyone, I'm the first one to high five you.
yeah.
I'm not judging people's
Whatever
I'm
they want to say or where they're at. And yeah.
Mhm.
but I have seen people get stuck in these labels and therefore their life mirrors the label.
Correct.
If I believe I'm stupid, right? My behavior will mirror that. I'll walk with my head down. I won't read a book in front of someone. I will isolate, right? And I don't want to live like that. So instead of saying quit living like this, let's change from stupid to brilliant.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden my behaviors follow it.
Yeah.
95% of our behaviors are sponsored by our beliefs.
Yeah. Well, and that rolls right into that next thing. You talk about the 3 beliefs. This is powerful for
Yeah.
you, and I think you do this with every client
Yes.
from in your
Yeah.
book. I'd love to talk about the 3 beliefs really fast.
Yeah.
They resonated so well with us when we're like,
Yeah.
"Wow,
Yeah.
okay."
Cool. Well, thank you for bringing that up. The 3 core, I call them the 3 kind of foundational beliefs are, I'm powerful beyond measure. I'm a masterful creator and I have the dignity to choose because every time we choose, we create. And in that process, we're very powerful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good or bad, right?
Yeah.
I think we take choice, that gift of choice, for granted. It is powerful to make a decision. And I know everyone's going, yeah, well, yeah, sure. But I just think we just take it for granted how powerful standing in front of the mirror saying, today I'm going to be clean.
Mhm.
Today I'm recovered. Today I'm going to make a difference in someone's life. Boy, it's like I'm calling my shot for the day.
Yep.
Right.
Right. And so, um, you know, let's go backwards now. I have the dignity to choose. Dignity means I'm worthy of the gift. So I am worthy to make a decision. I have that right. I'm worthy, just like you are and you are, right? And and then if you look at masterful creator, I believe that, I look back when I started taking accountability for my life, I realized I created the mess I was in. It was me. And yes, there's influences, family, friends. Sometimes we go through trauma and abuse. Yes, there's definitely factors into our lives,
Yeah.
but our trauma may not have been our fault, but it's our responsibility to heal from it. And that's what Curtis teaches in his
Yep.
pornography class. It's like, okay, yeah, you've been through this, but this is a you problem. And when you start looking at it that way, what are you going to do to change it? It's like,
Yep.
ooh, that's empowering.
Right.
Mhm.
So masterful means I am in control. To be a master at anything, it means I'm in control. Bruce Lee, he's famous for being a master at kung fu, right? But the truth is, he was the master at controlling himself, which made him the best at kung fu,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
That's why monks and
Yes,
these people are so in control because they are the masters of
Yep.
their entire being.
exactly. And that's why, going back to your point, words matter.
They do.
Yeah.
Words matter. So, and then I think we're all powerful beyond measure. And I know that sounds like almost cliche a little bit, like, oh, okay. No, truly think about it. You know, I I've interviewed some amazing people, and I think people are astonishing. I really do. Like when I hear stories of people overcoming, it's astonishing. We always celebrate the guy that just ran 100 miles over a mountain.
Yeah.
But someone who's overcome addiction, I think is just as impressive to me to
Well,
overcome that, right?
it's one of the hardest things anybody could go through.
Yes.
It really is.
And I look at you, you're astonishing to be in the position you're at. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's powerful beyond measure to me. So when a person or one of my clients that I'm working with, they start embodying these principles, these foundational bedrock principles that, oh, I am powerful beyond measure. I am a masterful creator, meaning I get to create whatever I want
Mhm.
and how I want to do it. And I have the dignity to make that decision.
Mm.
Because I believe once we make a decision, the whole universe will conspire to making it happen.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I could go on all day of those three, but I tell you, those were life changing for me. That I was actually taught by a mentor in my life.
Well, I can tell just by the way you talk about them that those are your 3 beliefs. That is
Yes.
what you live by your life every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Do
just
my best at it.
well, that's all you can do
Yeah.
is try because you know what?
Yeah.
We fail
Oh yeah.
every day. We
Well,
fail.
there'll be times I'm complaining about having to dig a dead tree out of my backyard. I'm like, okay, quit playing the victim and dig the tree out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, duh.
Be
Yeah.
grateful you get the opportunity to
Yeah.
do it.
I got a shovel. Yeah, exactly.
You have 2 hands and an able
Yeah.
body.
I got a yard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So it's like those little things that, I have to remind myself, oh yeah, Todd, practice what you preach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I love that a lot. So
The other one that just really also resonated me with what you teach is self-love.
Yes.
Because as you say, the bully in our minds,
Yeah.
it can be absolutely catastrophic to
Yeah.
the way that we think about ourselves.
Yeah.
This is something that we have 2 tween boys
Yeah.
that we're just really trying to instill confidence and kindness in
Yeah.
these 2.
Yeah.
And in this world, and just the difference that they're going through growing up than what we experienced going through when we grew up.
Yeah.
It's a million times harder to
For
find
sure.
confidence today.
Yeah. This is my favorite question.
And
I'm over here just like, let's
yeah.
go.
So tell me more about
Yeah.
your instilling self-love into
Yes.
people.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it on the head. These kids these days, what they're dealing with. I mean, we had our struggles growing up, and they were hard.
Yeah.
These kids have it on times 10,
Yeah.
times 100, right? So, love of self will prove to be the most powerful antidote over any unwanted or addictive behaviors, period.
Yeah.
Clarity of identity is the most potent antidepressant on the planet. So, yes, love of self, and I know that sounds almost cliche too. Oh, love yourself. Just, love yourself. And people hear this, and I'm telling you, they roll their eyes.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, we shouldn't roll our eyes, because when we say this, this is where everything changes. I was poisoning myself with drugs and alcohol because I hated me. You don't poison something you love.
No.
You don't. So how do we get this? Let's just talk about kids and teenage kids even. How do we get them to a place where not only do they have confidence, but they truly can look in the mirror and they love what they see staring back? So one of the things I love doing with my clients, and we'll do it here a little bit, okay? I'll do my best to explain this. I put them through an exercise of who they really are, okay? And they leave there in the next half hour knowing who they are better than they've ever known, and it blows their minds. So one of the questions I ask, and I'll try to not make this very long, because because listeners will be like, okay, get to the point. So if I ask, one of the questions I'll ask in this exercise is, as we watch a baby learning to walk, I'll say, when a baby falls down, what does a baby do? And everyone says, well, they get back up. Exactly. So they fall down and they get back up. You've never heard of a baby fall down once and say, you know what, this walking isn't for me, and I'm going to roll around the rest of my life. A baby falls down and they get back up. Now, when you and I are watching a baby learning to walk just from a distance. We watch it fall and get back up. We watch it fall and get back up. And we watch it fall and get back up over and over, right? I'll ask my client or, the person I'm helping, what are the characteristics of a baby learning to walk? And I get answers like this. They have determination. They have resilience. Uh, they believe, right? They have confidence. I had one client tell me this, and I never thought of this before. He said, babies have the ability to forgive themselves instantly. And I went, what do you mean by that? He says, when they fall down, they don't go, I suck.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. I can't walk like the guy, the kid that lives next door to me.
Yeah.
Right? They don't do that, right? So, and then so I read them back to him. So, determination, resilience, confidence, believing, forgiving. And I'll ask him, where did the babies get those characteristics?
Yeah. Where did they learn that?
Where do they get that? And, sometimes they struggle with that, but it ultimately comes down to they were born with them.
Mhm.
I can't teach my baby to forgive themselves instantly. They just do it.
It's instinct.
It's instinct. They're born with it. It's in their DNA. And then they go, oh, yeah. And then I look back at the client and go, so what does that mean about you? And they go, well, that means I've got them too. And I go, well, what's the proof? And eventually they have to go, well, I'm walking.
Right.
And it is, I get chills. I'm getting chills right now. Think about that. And I'll look at this person and I say, in your DNA is determination. In your DNA is to forgive yourself instantly. In your DNA is resilience. And we can go on. We could talk about 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's in their DNA. And I say this, you did not lose those qualities or characteristics. You just forgot you had them. The best definition I've ever heard of depression is pretending to be someone you're not.
Yeah.
And we all go through a period of forgetting as we get older.
Yeah.
See, and I don't know if you guys can't see this, but I'm putting my hand above the floor about 2 feet. When we were this tall, we all knew who we were. We loved ourselves. We loved everyone. We had faith as big as the universe. And as we get older, and everyone goes through this, so there's no judgment here, we forget who we are. We start comparing. We start beating ourselves up for mistakes. We start worrying about the future, and we go through a period of suffering. Some worse than others. I get it. Some people go through abuse, parents divorce. I mean, all kinds of stuff they can go through. But we go through a period of forgetting. My job with my clients is just reminding of what they have forgotten.
Yeah.
And when that hits, so I would ask, if I was talking to your boys even, I would say, okay, you can't argue that those characteristics, you can't argue this process. And they go, yeah, I can't argue it. You may not believe that yet, but I'll read them back to them and I'll say, are these qualities lovable? And they say, well, yeah. So how could you not love you? If this is the characteristics of you, how can you not love that? And I'll tell you, almost 10 out of 10 of my clients will start crying in this moment. I'm like, this is who you are. When you're blowing up your life over here with drugs and alcohol and whatever else it may be, you're pretending to be someone you're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's one last thing, and I want to hear your thoughts. I think the greatest gift we can give our children is that you walk up to them and you look them in the eye and say, who are you? And they can answer it with conviction.
Mm.
So, and it's never too late. So when you can get your boys, hey, who are you? And they go, oh, I'm love. I'm light. I am energy. I'm courageous. I'm brave. I'm tenacious. When they can answer it like that, greatest gift we can give our kids to answer that question.
And you know what that reminds me of? How he's explaining how we find that.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some very intense ketamine therapy.
Yeah.
Nothing else was working for me.
Sure.
And I remember the session. I've talked about this session. It was my third session.
Uh-huh.
And I remember those feelings. During that session, I was able to,
Wow.
it was me. This is me. I am this. I have these qualities.
Yeah.
All of those things come out because of what I was going through. It took that type of therapy to find that.
Yeah.
And some people need that.
For sure.
But it's the exact same thing you're talking about, because that's where we all go back to, is we need to just know that that's who we are at our core.
Yeah.
And remember, I think that's
Yes.
the key word is remember
Remember.
that we are this strong, powerful,
Yeah.
determined, courageous. What is it? Is it the seven C's? I can't remember this. The seven C's is what they call it. And I can know
Yeah.
There's 5 C's.
no, because
No?
Lincoln always forgot one or
Oh,
two.
that's right.
But it's like courageous,
Yeah.
compassion, curious.
Mhm.
Um, See, and I can't remember them all
Yeah,
either.
yeah, there's
But it's remembering because all those traits
Yes.
are part of us from the beginning,
Yeah.
and we just forget.
Yeah, we never lose.
Yes.
It's in our DNA. It's built in our DNA. We never lose. And, I had a client the other day came in and said, "Oh, Todd, I've lost my confidence." And I'm like, "Well, where is it? Let's see if we can find it." And my point was, we don't
Yeah.
lose it. You just forgot it's there. And I try to help them remember that. And sometimes the only way that we can recognize the confidence is there is to go give away confidence to someone else. Now, it sounds contradictory, right?
Well, it's like the
Wha
service thing.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Like, if you want to be, give it away.
Yeah. If you
So
wanna keep what you have to give it away.
yeah, so if you wanna be confident, go give away confidence.
Huh.
It's almost like backwards.
Yeah.
It's like, "Well, what? Yeah," but just go do it and watch what happens. And all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, yeah, the confidence has been there. There it is. It just woke up again."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
I mean,
but I love that question. I get so
yeah,
because it's so
it
powerful.
It is
is.
so
It is.
powerful.
Clarity of identity is the most potent antidepressant on the planet.
Yeah.
It reminds me early in my recovery, my my sponsor gave me instructions to write 10 things I loved about myself.
Yeah,
And that was one of the hardest things early on
I know.
to find. And she she even said, if you can't think of 10 things, then go ask somebody that loves you 10 things that they love about
Mm,
you. Write them down and then read them every day until you believe it.
wow.
So,
Yeah,
and
and thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable because it's sad that you couldn't
yeah,
come up with 10. I mean,
Yeah.
and many of us are in that boat. I was there too.
yeah.
I would have a hard time even listing one, right? And it's sad that we get to this place where we can't even think one or two or three or 10
Yeah.
things that we love about ourselves. But that's the key. And I think I really do know that when I finally realized who I was, it was the life-changing moment where I can go make a difference. And so, it's an exercise you could do with your kids, put them through that, and I'm telling you, and then just practice every time you say 'em, "Who are you again?" and have them just hit you with it. And it's gonna be awkward at first. They'll be like, "Oh, let's see, who
Yeah.
am I?" But when we can answer it with conviction, that's when, okay,
That's when something happens.
confidence goes from here to here all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I love watching that. That's why I love, being able to do what I do.
Yeah, see
Yeah.
that. Well, and I had that exact moment a couple birthdays ago. I've
Uh-huh.
told this story, and we teach a little bit of a connection seminar. We did this at our men's retreat we did last fall, and for me, I struggled as well.
Yeah.
Writing those things down, trying to tell
Sure.
myself,
Yeah.
but I knew I had made it a couple birthdays ago when I was able to stand in front of the mirror after I got out of the shower, just me,
Yeah.
100% me.
Yeah.
And I was able to tell myself those things.
Wow.
Look at myself in the mirror in the eye, and I was able to tell myself that was the moment I'm like, I've made it.
That's awesome.
And it's one of those triumphant
Mm.
moments that there's not many things in this life that are greater than realizing how amazing you are as a person and loving yourself for everything you can see in front of you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's something that we've found super powerful, and I'll never forget that moment
Yeah.
because that was my
That's
that
cool.
was one of those moments like we've made it. I've
Mm.
made it. I'm here. Look at me.
Well, back to, you're comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that. Thanks for sharing
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, well, one other thing I wanted to hit on because this is something you teach that you've talked about a lot over different shows and things is the bumblebee.
Yeah.
And I love the bumblebee. I
Yeah.
really took this to heart when I heard the first time when you said it, and I'd love to touch on the bumblebee
Yeah.
scenario.
Well, first of all, bees are amazing. If you study the life of a bee, I mean,
Why there was a whole
So
a cartoon version made of them,
yeah,
right?
they're so
yeah, they're
fascinating.
fascinating, fascinating, and again, just amazing. I think it's a miracle, honestly. I'm really big into belief systems because our beliefs dictate our behavior.
Mhm.
And sports science backs that up. It's like 95% of the time, our behaviors are mirrored from a belief we have about ourselves and our world. And so, man, that's really fascinating to me. And so I've always been about that. And there's this beautiful statement that I came across about the bumblebee, and it says the bumblebee's wings are too small for it to fly, but the bumblebee doesn't know that, so it flies. And I thought that is so perfect. It's like it doesn't buy into the naysayers or buy into a narrative that or a label where I can't do this. It's just, and it just that beautiful, simple little statement is like if we all could just embrace that into our own lives,
Yeah.
it would change everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing we couldn't accomplish.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to why I think people are astonished because I watch people accomplish some of the most amazing things and get through some of the hardest things in their lives.
Mm.
As you two mentioned, what you guys have been through, it's astonishing to me. Bumblebees are astonishing.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
And it goes back to believe again, when we were these little kids, we believed in ourselves. We had faith as big as the universe. We could do anything. Somewhere along the way, we forgot. So it's not about being childish. It's about being childlike again. Just believe,
Just believe.
believing again.
Yeah.
Can we just believe we actually can make a difference? Can we just believe that we are enough? Can we just believe that life is good? I know there's challenges in life and life, because what we focus on increases. If I focus on the negative in this world, and there's plenty of it, I know that, but it's just going to magnify in my mind and in my life.
Mhm.
But if I focus on the good, that also magnifies.
Yeah.
That also becomes what I see. It's kind of like when you buy a car and then you notice the car everywhere.
Yep.
Yep.
It's because it's 'cause it's on your mind.
Yep.
Mhm.
So if I focus on bad, I'll see it everywhere. But if I focus on the good, I'll see that everywhere.
Yep. Like
You know,
attracts like.
it does. And so, yeah, so the bumblebee and just that belief system of a bumblebee. I want to be like the bumblebee. It's like, I don't want, okay, yeah, I've got limitations, but I don't care. So therefore, I still do it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
great question.
So this is one as we're kind of wrapping up here that
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you. So we told your story about the lemonade stand.
Yeah,
That moment has stuck with you, and it was an act of kindness that you performed to somebody else.
yeah.
In your journeys over the last 30 plus years, is there another act of kindness that either was performed to you or that you performed to somebody else that has stuck with you like that one has?
Wow. That's a great question. I've had many obviously special moments like that over the years. I think where I've had a moment where when you kind of like what you guys were saying earlier, when you have someone say, "Hey, I was listening to your podcast, it changed my life." Or I listened to that one story you shared and it made all the difference in the world for me and my family or whatever. You know, when I hear a parent, because I work with a lot of younger kids like in high school and college even,
Yeah.
where when I have a parent reach out to me and say, of all the things you've helped my son or daughter through, I want you to know that I know they're safe with you, Todd. That right there, when I hear that, I mean, that I don't even have to think of that. I know I create a safe space for these people, but to hear it from a parent
Mhm.
say that, my daughter feels safe with you. Wow, thank you. That is the greatest compliment I can get. And then the next one that kind of comes to mind is when I hear, Todd, thank you for making it so simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I think we as a human beings, we overcomplicate everything.
Everything.
It's like, no, my problem's this big, so or the solution's got to be that. It's like, actually, no, it's like right here. It's as simple.
Yeah.
You know what? It's about being honest and having integrity and being accountable and helping others. Maybe it's as simple as that. If I just focused on those, but when I hear a client say, "Yes, Todd, I simplified my life because of the things you said. Thank you for making it so simple." So I don't know. There's a whole bunch of others, but
Those are the ones that stand out.
those stand out. And just, when you just randomly get a text from someone saying, "Hey, we met 10 years ago, and I just want you to know I'm still incorporating those things, and I'm now teaching it to my own children." I'm just like, whoa, I just start crying. Like, what? Who am I? You start going, man, I can't believe I'm in this position,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah,
So again, standing on shoulders of giants.
I love that. Love that.
So I feel like you've kind of already answered my question, but I'm going
Yeah,
to ask it again, and you
sure.
can you can repeat it if it's the same answer.
Okay.
But did anybody ever give you what's the best advice that you were given that you've carried with you throughout your life?
Boy, that's a good one. That is a great question. Um, obviously the one that stands out right now is practice what you preach. That was a big, game changer for me. To this day, I make sure that I'm doing that the best that I can. Um, I think, I think the best advice, it was more of a truth was there's nothing wrong with you, Todd. My mentor taught me that. And when I first heard it, I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm a mess. I am a complete mess. I have, I actually have this statement now above my head. So when the client's sitting across me, I have them read it out loud on our very first session. And I'm talking, I have people that are out of prison meeting with me, heroin addicts, drug addict, you name it. They've been through hell, and they're sitting right across from me on day one. And I have them read this, and it's a quote that I've put from myself that says, "The most delightful surprise in life is to suddenly recognize there's nothing wrong with you."
Yeah.
And that's what my mentor taught me. And it was the best truth statement, if you will, advice is to hold on to that. It doesn't mean I don't have stuff to work on, which I got plenty, but to my core, I'm good. There's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one has been the kind of the foundation that I like to start with my clients, and it's something I try to live by and teach my own children.
Yeah.
And now I'm teaching it to my grandchildren.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that a lot.
yeah.
Well, as we always end these episodes, we always like to turn the time to the guest to ask us a couple
Oh,
questions.
wow.
I want to change it just a little bit with you.
Okay.
And if we were sitting in your office and we were
Yeah.
meeting for the first time or coming in, what would be a couple ways or maybe a couple things you would ask us right out of the gate, just to kind of get to where, so you understood where we were at as a person,
Yeah.
how we felt about ourselves? What would those questions look like? What questions would you ask us? And we're happy to answer.
Yeah, boy, that's a good one. I usually would say something like this if you were coming to me for help, I would say, so obviously I would ask, well, what's the problem? What's your problem? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I know that sounds like, oh yeah, duh, you would ask that question,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And that would be followed up like I'll give you an example. I had this girl come say, I don't know why she was coming to see me. Asked her, okay, so why are you here? What's going on? What's the problem?
Mhm.
And she said, ultimately, I'm not pretty, I'm not good enough, and I don't love who I am. And so I went back to, well, who told you you're not pretty? And she sat there like, huh? I go, well, you said that. Like, who told you that you weren't pretty?
Mhm.
And she goes, myself.
Mm.
And I said, why are you lying to yourself? She was like, what? Like, that's a lie.
Yeah.
And she never connected those dots.
Huh.
And I go, so I don't know if this is answering.
No,
I know
this is great.
it's, and she was just like, she was honestly didn't know what to say. And I go, this is your problem, is that you tell yourself the story that you're not pretty and among a bunch of other things. I go, it's the story that's causing you to feel the way you feel. The most powerful force in the human psyche is the story you tell yourself about yourself.
Hmm.
Her story was, I'm not pretty. No one likes me. I'm not good enough, right?
Yeah.
It's a story. So I would ask you guys, what's the story that's holding you back? What is it?
Yeah.
What's the story? So, I
I
mean,
mean,
granted, you've done a lot of work and here
work
you are.
well, I mean, And this just keeps on my mind, and this is how I would answer your question if we were sitting there.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm living in the I'm recovering, and I can't make it to the recovered
yeah.
stage.
And then
That's what I would
so
say.
and then I would say, so what's the barrier then? Let's identify the barrier from you going from the here to there. What's the barrier? What is it? Because it's a story, I think, in your mind. What is it? What's the story that's keeping you comfortable in the recovery
In
zone,
that
in that
stage.
zone?
Yeah.
What is it? Dude, here we are.
Yeah.
What is it?
I mean, you nailed it on the head. I'm telling myself I'm not good enough to be into
Yeah,
that next zone.
yeah. And there's the lie. See, it's the lies that keep us from progressing.
Mhm.
It's a lie. Like, how are you and I any different? You're clean today, I'm clean today. Time I know time matters on some level, but time's irrelevant.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you and I did yesterday per se. It's what are we doing today, right now, in this moment? You're clean, I'm clean. It's fair to say you've been honest today, correct?
Yep.
Have you had integrity today so far? I
Yep.
would say probably yes. You've been accountable for your day today.
Yep.
Have you helped anyone today? I mean, you've helped me a ton already,
Ha-
honestly. So if we look at just today, right now, you're clean, you're honest, you have integrity, you're accountable, and you help people. That's a pretty damn good person in my book. If that's not recovered, I don't know what else. What else would you have to do? But yet your story says, "Oh no, but Todd, if you only knew my struggle that I had last night, or the I said something mean to someone 3 days ago." Whatever that is, it's not about perfection. It
It's about being 1% better than you were before.
exactly 1% better every day. That's all we got.
Yep.
But the truth is, you are those things. It's in your DNA. So, you know, in the recovery world, so this is sorry, this will be a long here we go. Buckle up, everyone. So I started drinking at age 11.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I didn't get drunk at 11. But but that's where it started.
Yeah.
10 years later, that's when my life changed. So 10 years of hell, to be quite honest with you. The recovery world will tell me I now got to identify myself with those 10
10
years.
years.
I'm an addict for life. Once an addict, always an addict.
Yeah.
But who was I before age 11? We go back to
Little Todd.
little time. I was love. I was light. I was energy. I was courageous. I was sympathetic. I was brave. I was tenacious. The list goes on and on and on. That's the authentic me. I had a bout with addiction. I'm not denying that. It was there.
Mhm.
Guilty as charged. But that's not who I am. So why would I identify myself with the 10 years for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was I before all that? And that's why the question, clarity of identity, is the most potent antidepressant on the planet. I know who I am now. So who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you? How do you answer that question right now? Who are you?
I'm Scott. I'm courageous. I'm confident,
You-
compassionate, tenacious. I mean, all of these
The
things.
list goes on. We could sit here for an hour. You could give me all those things, and they all are true. So how is that not? You're recovered. You're back to your authentic self before all your struggles and battles.
Mm.
It doesn't mean you still don't have your struggles. I'm not saying that. But dude, the only thing keeping you from going from recovery to recovered is the story you
Or
tell yourself. That's it.
sitting in that past,
Yeah. The
not
past
being
is
in the
the
present.
past.
Yeah.
Who are you today? Look at you. You're kicking ass and
Yeah.
taking names. Why? See, I have no problem with someone saying, I'm confident, I'm recovered, if you're putting in the work, which you do. There you go. If you weren't putting in any work and you're doing the things you shouldn't be doing, well, yeah, maybe you're holding on and you're white knuckling it and whatever. And we've all been there too. No judgment. But the only thing keeping you from that is the story you tell yourself. That's it.
I love that.
So our brains believe whatever story we tell it. So it better be a damn good one.
Yeah.
So what's the story you want to start telling yourself? What is it? What does that look like? Take your shot. I'm recovered, meaning it's over. I'm done with that life. I got work to do and I'm going to continue doing the work.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. But who were you before all this came up.
Well, I love that. Somebody said something earlier this week. So we've been having a little bit of car trouble with our work truck.
Yeah.
Literally almost died because I lost a ball joint going down
Oh,
the
wow.
freeway
Jeez,
in,
that's
in
scary.
a F-550 flatbed.
Oh,
Talk about a situation I wouldn't put my worst enemy in. I mean,
I
I came home and she could see the look on my
Like
face.
ghost white.
I
can't
mean,
imagine.
and so we've had a little bit of experience, and my buddy, he's been through thick and thin with me this
Yeah.
whole time, and he's always been my mechanic. And he looks at me, he's like, "Man, God really wants you here." He
Right.
looks at me, he's like, "Some of the stuff you've gone through," he's like, "I don't know how you lived through it."
Yeah, right. I love it.
And so when he said that earlier this week, that really kind of solidified a little bit of, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, something stupid like that. All the stuff in my past that I didn't take me out. Something stupid like this didn't take me out because guess what? I
Yeah.
still have stuff to do here.
Yeah.
And now I have another stupid story to tell about it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's how we have to start looking at things, I guess. And that's the stories we need to tell ourselves is when bad things happen, don't let it set you back.
Yeah.
Look at it of I've got another great story to tell.
Yeah,
Look at
exactly.
this.
Yeah. Look at the
So
positives. Yeah.
yeah, I love
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'd like to end on one other question, and that is you just talk to us about who we are,
Yeah.
asking that question.
Mhm.
If there's one other question that you could give to us in the audience to say or to ask ourselves to really make us think and get those juices flowing in the positive direction, what would it be?
Great question. I think I'll answer it this way. A lot of times we ask people, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want in your life? Right. And, a lot of people say, I want happiness. I want this or that. Right.
Mhm.
I think a better question is, what are you willing to go through to get what you want?
Ah,
I want to say I hear Jim Carrey say that at one point.
Jim Carrey says it. I've heard it a lot, but
Mm.
it's a powerful way. It shifts it because we can all say what we want, but it's really ambiguous. It's not very intentional, if you will.
Yeah.
But if I can go, okay, here's what I want, it's okay. But then, what am I willing to go through the pain of getting that?
That.
Mm.
Yeah.
Am I willing to go through the work to get that? Because, I work with a lot of clients, and the ones that put in the work get it. The ones that don't put in the work don't get it. I had a mom the other day. She was sitting there with her young daughter, and we're doing our first session. And, the mom looks me right in the eye. I say, "Hey, what's your success rate, Todd?" And I said, 100%.
yeah.
She goes, "What?" I go, "No, 100%." She goes, "No, seriously, what's yours?" I go, "It's 100% if your daughter will do what I tell her to do. 0% if she doesn't." I go, "It's not about Todd. It's about her. If she's willing to put in the work, I will guide her. But if she's willing to put in the work, she'll get it."
Yeah.
It's the law of the universe. The universe has no favorites. It doesn't curse me and bless you. It doesn't do that. It gives to every person what they justly earn. The universe will give me exactly the effort I put into it. If I half-ass something, if I kind of do something, then I kind of get a result. But if I put my whole heart into this, if I change the narrative, no, I am recovered, and I put in the work, the universe says yes to that as well. It's not, and again, words have power.
Yeah.
You're not broken because of what you went through. It was the wake-up call to your greatness. It's the wake-up call to your greatness. It's the wake-up call to mine. And anyone listening to this is your wake-up call. Adversity is the greatest sparring partner out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sparring with adversity. Let's go. But it's how we get stronger. It's how we get better.
It's how we evolve into the
How we
person we're
evolve.
supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how we survive life's pickles,
Absolutely.
right?
And sharing those stories helps us navigate all the challenges together. And that's
Yeah.
what this life's about, is doing it
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah, we're in this together. We need each other.
Yeah.
Right? You alone can do it, but you can't do it alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. I love that. Well, Todd, this has been fantastic.
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming and showing up at some random people's place that message you and say, "Hey, we want to sit down with you."
Yeah, I'm so
We
glad you
appreciate
reached
it.
out, and this has been fun. And man, I'm a better person for this experience. So thank you guys for what you do, and just like you said, we're in this together, and if I'm here to help whatever you guys need. So
Yeah. Well,
Will you tell our listeners where they will find you?
yeah.
yeah, so I have a website. It's toddinspires.com, and you can see everything there. I also have a podcast I call it a Belief Cast. You can go to beliefcast.com, and it'll show you all the people that have been on my show. And my social media handle is at TS Inspires. And you can look me up there and hit me up if you want to ask me a question, whatever. Check out the things I'm doing. I'd be happy to, help you out any way I can.
Amazing.
that.
We'll put
Thank
all
you.
of this in the description in the podcast.
Sweet.
Well, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Sweet.
well, everybody, again, this has been such a great episode. Thank you for taking your time today to hang out with us. We hope that you have enjoyed it. We hope that something has resonated with you today that can better your life.
Yeah.
And then again, the only way we can continue to do this is by you guys tuning in. It's the reason we do this every week.
Yeah.
And if something resonated today, take this show, take this episode, and share it with somebody in your life that needs to hear it. You know somebody that needs to hear something that was said today. So share it with a family member, a friend,
Yeah.
a coworker, or just somebody that you met today that you know could benefit from the message that we're shared here on the show. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We can't wait to see you guys next week when we have our next episode with all of you. Until then, keep your head up, keep a smile on that face, and don't forget that you're
A big deal.